Hi, welcome to Get a Clue Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game or a list of games. Today we're going to be getting a short list. Of course, when we do the short list, I don't necessarily will look up where you can purchase them or how much they are, but I will tell you a little bit about each game and how it plays. So, our list for today is comfy, cozy games. Last year at this time, I created a list of not so spooky games because I'm not into horror. But yes, I had games like the Universal Monster Horrified and things like that. And you're welcome to look at that list from last year. But this year I thought I'd do something a little different. And so today we're going to look at some games that remind me of the fall. Sorry there, I am jiggling this table. You know, I live in the very south in the United States. And yeah, tomorrow's high is supposed to be 86, and we're almost into November. Actually, when you watch this, will probably be that 86-degree day. But then 2 days later, our high is supposed to be like 65. Go figure. And for the next 2 weeks, there's no more 80s. It comes back up into the 70s, but that's fall where I live. So I kind of pushed it off because I've been out of town so much in the last month and a half, and it really didn't feel like fall yet. All of a sudden, like 3 days ago, the trees in my front yard start losing all their leaves. Here, they don't change colors and fall. It's like, no, they just fall. They turn brown and fall. That's it. But I know all across the northern hemisphere, we're in the midst of autumn or fall. I do know in the southern hemisphere, sorry, y'all are going into spring, which is one of my favorite seasons. Fall is not. I put up with fall. But I live in the south, so fall is short, winter is short, and spring and summer are longer, and I'm all for that. So anyway, so we're going to look at 5 games that kind of fit that fall and or comfy cozy feel. And then I have 3 honorable mentions for totally different reasons. Okay? Not in any order are these 5. The first 2, the theme I'm going with is it's fall. Up north, especially. I was even in Atlanta this week, and I noticed there were a few trees that were changing color, had changed color. Atlanta is cold enough or north enough to actually have changing tree color, but down here, no. But it reminds me of a game like Savernake Forest. Savernake Forest and another game called Trails. At this time of year, people are going out, enjoying the crisp weather and driving or hiking to see the beauty of fall and all the colors. I'm going to read, I was looking at Savernake Forest, which is a tile-laying game. And the back of it, obviously, Rodrigo Rego and Nuria Aparicio are Spanish speaking. Pretty sure they're Spanish speaking because all of their instructions start with Spanish. They have Spanish and then Catalan, which would be northern Spain, just between Spain and France, Portuguese, Italian, and then English. I could read you the Spanish, but you probably wouldn't understand it, so I'll read the English. Winter is closing in on the forest, and all the animals scurry about trying to put together a nice pantry so that they can make it to the spring. Clear their paths and help your friends spend their cold days under the warm blanket of a full belly. And so there are these tiles that you lay down and you choose, you draft in place, and or animals or whatever. But your goal is that certain animals want certain food. And so you're trying to create a trail where that animal can get the food that it eats, opposed to what another animal eats. And that's how you get your points. So it's a tile laying game, a simple draft and place type of game. Oh, my hair is so long right now. I do have an appointment to get it chopped down some more later this week. It's in my eyes. It's bothering me. And so that's basically it. But it's beautiful colors. It's definitely fall, all about the cute little critters getting ready for the winter. And so that kind of brings the concept of the little bit of crisp air and the changing colors of the trees, but you're trying to help the animals store up for the winter. Simple game. Second one that I showed you is trails, which is, it's a perfect time of year to go and hike a trail at a national park. This is a sister game to one called Parks, which is much bigger and much more involved. And there goes my tickly nose once I start talking. Trails is kind of like the little sister of Parks. It might look kind of similar. You have this trail of cards, and you can move forward as much as you want, but you can't reverse until you get to the end, and then you can come back. So basically, it's a worker placement game where you can place them where you want. You can walk them up, 1 or 3, and get whatever commodity is there. But it's up to you. Do you want to be first at a certain spot so you can get what's there? Or are you willing to go slowly and see what you can get on the way and have more turns? That is Trails. Another simple game. If you want something more complicated, look up Parks. But for casual level, I suggest Trails. If you really fall in love with this one, then you can upsize to Parks. So now we're going to leave the cool outdoors that I avoid like the plague. And I really want to get under some covers. Some cozy quilt or soft blanket. So for that, we're going to start off with Patchwork. It's a 2-player only game. There's quite a few different patchworks nowadays. I have 2. I have this one, which is Patchwork Express, and then I have the Christmas patchwork. The only difference is that Express is a little bit smaller grid, so you finish faster. That's it. And I also have it on my phone, so I can play it on my phone if I want as well. But basically, you're going to have a big oval or a big circle of polyomino shaped pieces or Tetris shaped pieces, like this T here and this cross here and this little like W here and this big L going, just a 2 across there. Yeah, there's all kinds of different shapes. And you're going to be picking one or buying them with buttons, because buttons is the money in this game. And you're going to pay the buttons, get the piece, and place it on your quilt, trying to make the perfectly filled quilt and lots of buttons so that you can make more money, more buttons. And that's the game. 2-player only. 2-2. That's it. But that nice quilt, it's all done. You have so many different choices. There is a Halloween version. It's the Christmas version. There's a Valentine's Day version. There's some from other countries that have different materials and stuff. There's an there's an Americana version, which is red, white, and blue, and there's the original, which is basically just a patchwork. So you have, even in the States, you have many choices, and in some other countries they will have some that are specific for their country in cloth patterns that are more local in appearance. So now you've got your nice little quilt, but you know what? I still want another quilt, and I want a quilt that will attract a cat. Now this one is a little bit more puzzly and thinky. I will give you that. This is not Uno. More like Rook in complexity. You will have your own base, your own beginner quilt that has some already pre-printed around the edges and a big open space in the middle, and you're going to be getting quilt pieces and placing them and trying to create patterns that will attract cats to lay down on your quilt. You get points for the patterns, you get points for the cats, and that's basically the game. But trying to get those patterns, as many, you can have up to 3 patterns that you're trying to achieve, and it's almost impossible to get all 3, because you will be pulling out, that you'll be drafting from the middle, but what comes out in the middle comes out from a bag by chance. So when it's your turn, what's there might not be helpful for the patterns that you're trying to create. Just a heads up for that. But how much more cozy can you get than that picture there? I mean, really. A nice roaring fire in the fireplace and a cat all curled up on your lap with the quilt. Calico. Nice, the epitome of comfy cozy. Then, another thing that I like to, besides board games, is to read. And so here's the game Paperback. There's another one called Hardback. I've never played, well, I don't even know how Hardback actually plays. Paperback is a simple game. It's a word game. You'll be drawing cards, making words, and buying cards. That's the basics of it. But I chose this because it reminds me of, those cold evenings, under the quilt, the heater on if you don't have a fireplace, reading a book. Can't get more cozy than that. So this is basically a word game, words made with the letters on cards. Simple, casual level game. And oh, by the way, this is one of my newer games that I happen to buy at secondhand. So you can keep your eye out for different games. I have seen it at Barnes & Noble. I have seen it. And I'm pretty sure you can get it on online and possibly Amazon, but I got mine secondhand. Okay, so now those are my 5 comfy cozies, but I have 3 honorable mentions. They represent different aspects of this time of year. Or let's say you're staying inside because it's getting colder out. Up north, it's very cold these days. I don't know why y'all live up there. I know you love the cold. I don't. But this game, Penny Black, reminds me of my grandpa and my dad. Both were stamp collectors. I can remember in my childhood watching Dad go over his stamps, watching Grandpa go over his stamps. So when I heard about this game coming out, and it's a tile laying game, a tile laying puzzly game, right up my alley. Anybody who watches my channel long knows that that's one of my favorite types of games, puzzly tile laying games. Calico is one. Patchwork is one. They're like, I really do like them. So I knew that that's what I want. I wanted to get this one, and it's taken me quite a while to get it. But finally, I have one. It's you have your book, and you're getting the stamps, which are actually nice little plastic tiles. They're really cool. They're really nice, great quality for being found in many stores. I mean, a lot of Targets have this. Mine did not, and I live in a town that only has one Target. So when they didn't have it, and other people were talking about how they got it at Target, I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be a Target, and it's not at my Target. It was driving me crazy. So finally, I broke down and ordered it online through Target. I think it's a Target exclusive right now. It might not be, but it is a cool game. And like I say, all of these stamps are a nice plastic tile, and real great tactile type of game. And it's tile laying, you're drafting and tile laying. And you're trying to get it in certain combinations, the color or the across the line or things like that. There's different ways of scoring. But this just is here to represent all of our hobbies. Because when we start getting shut in the fall and in the winter, we tend to have hobbies, not just board games. Though for some of us, board games is the only hobby. And the truth is, right now, it is my top hobby, the one that I get to the most these days. But this is here to represent all those hobbies that we kind of pull out for the fall and the winter when it starts getting cold outside and we just want to stay snug inside. So Penny Black, a great tile laying game. This next one represents the word cozy. Or is it comfy? Comfy. Comfy, cozy. Comfy. There are games, if you've ever played more than one or two games, you have a few favorite games. Games that you've played so many times, whether you're a hobbyist or mass market, just grew up with. There are games that you know by heart and you just enjoy, and they are very comfortable to play. So Kohaku is going to be my representation of a game that I am so comfortable with that I can pull it out and play it. It can play solo, and I have most of the time I've played it solo. And I really don't need to pull out instructions because I've played it so many times. It's a comfortable game, it's a quiet game. I can play it on my own, and this is here to represent those games that you can comfortably just pull out and play and have an enjoyable evening just playing a game that you've played a million times, or at least it seems like that. Why not? What's wrong with pulling out a game that you know so well, that you really don't have to work your brain to learn new rules or remember rules or look up in the rule book, what does this mean? What does that mean? How do we do that? It's like, no, choose a comfortable game and just enjoy the comfy coziness of playing a game that you know so well. And last honorable mention. Some of you might be going, huh? It's okay. October 31st is known as Halloween. No problem. I'm not an anti-Halloween person. Like I said, last year my list was the not so spooky games to play with that not so spooky theme. But this year, I just wanted to point out, because I'm talking about comfy, cozy things, the fact that October 31st is also known as a different day, a day called Reformation Day. And on Reformation Day, because of Reformation Day, which is October 31st, I am using Sola Fide, the Reformation, as a theme game to point out that Reformation Day is October 31st, and the main concept of that day in the Christian church is Sola Fide, Sola Scriptura, and Solus Christus, and which means only faith, only Scripture, only Christ. And so that is what's up in my mind as we get to the end of October and the beginning of November. I will also mention my heart. November 1st will be the first birthday that my brother will have in heaven, because he passed away this year. And Wednesday, November 1st, is his birthday. So I dedicate this video to Mark, and love you from your big sister. Until next time, get cozy, get comfy, play some games, and God bless you and your family. Bye.